Next time he won't be prescribing such bitter pills to people when him himself know his pills are bitter. And let's wait for some few subscribers before we pop in. Before we hop in. So if you notice, he has been running helter-skelter, blaming all the blamables. At one point he will blame Punch. Said the Punch didn't seek his consent before publishing. But when you do your own, you seek other people's consent. Davido and Chioma owned, then just get small fracas. Before you know, you don't already set ring lights. Start to invite people, make them come to discuss people family matter. Husband and wife will get issue. Before you know it happened, that the freeze has gone behind, invited the wife. For the wife to come outside and diss the husband. Now he got to his own turn. He said Punch didn't seek clarifications from him. They would have come to him to clarify. Is that not funny? Very, very funny. Because when you do your own, it could sweet you. I remembered when you invited what's his name? Kayode's wife. Did you think of the question you were asking somebody's wife? If she had ever cheated on the husband? Imagine someone asking your wife such question. How would you feel? If she has anything to do with Pastor Toby, that's the question you were asking somebody's wife. Now it got to your turn. You were saying Punch. Punch didn't come to you to seek clarification. Man, you're high. You're very high. You're welcome. Welcome, welcome. So today is Daddy Freeze. Because he got a taste of his own bitter pill. If you follow him, he has been jumping up and down. Because the pill is so bitter for him to chew. Yet it's the same pill he keeps serving to people. At this point, I hope he learns his lesson. I hope he learns his lesson next time. Before he dares to invite somebody's wife for interview. I think he did the same thing to, what's the name of this musician? Harry Song. He did the same thing to Harry Song. Invited the wife. Husband and wife was having issues. You went behind to invite the wife. And you were asking the wife crazy questions. Questions that doesn't make sense. If you cheat on your husband, if your husband cheats on you, how old is your husband? Imagine saying at taste buds, then they ask those kind of questions. That's Daddy Freeze girlfriend, I be Daddy Freeze wife. Imagine she's the person seated right now in front of me on my life, and I'm asking her if she cheats on Daddy Freeze, how Daddy Freeze will feel. How old is Daddy Freeze? How much does Daddy Freeze give her to go to market with? That's the kind of question he sits back and asks people's wife. Because the lady, I blame people. I blame people that keeps coming up to his life to I don't know if they come there to seek remedy, but I feel what they come there to do is just to air out so that people hear their own side. But for me, I don't think it's necessary. People mustn't hear your side. If you're forcing people to hear your own side of the story, that means that there's an element of big lie inside. Because most times I see women on Daddy Freeze, and I'm like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here, man? Because at the end of the day, this guy is not even going to say anything. It's not like he's going to tell you like, okay, this is what I will do for you. Like how Brekete tries to at least intercede into people's problems. At least Brekete might even help with finances. It might help with state authorities like the police. He helps with advice. But this one is, even when you come there, advice self he no go give you. All he's after is just for him to get his social media revenue. Single advice you won't get. Now he got a taste of his own pill. He's blaming Punch. That Punch didn't come to clarify. Punch didn't seek his own consent. Is that not funny? But when he rolls out his ring light and his camera, he doesn't seek people's consent. He just goes straight in and he starts invite somebody's wife and start blabbing. He doesn't seek their consent. But now he wants Punch. Punch would have sought his consent before going ahead with the publication. It's kind of funny. Man, for me though, regrettably, I just feel he deserves what he got. If he's going to make good, if he's going to learn his lessons. A few days ago, David Ochioma, he was one of the first people that rolled out his camera, calling people from all over the world to come and talk about another person's family. He's done that to a lot of people. Man, if you watched his life he had with this footballer called Kayode, that is having issues with the wife, that the footballer accused the wife of infidelity. He invited the wife and was asking the wife if the wife has ever cheated on the footballer, if the wife is having an affair with Pastor Toby. Can you imagine? What, you sit somebody's wife down and start asking her because she's not in good terms, because you can leverage on her, you can leverage easily on her vulnerability, and you invite her to your life. Only God know how you go down deceive her, wash her, to make her sit down for there, make she they generate revenue for you. It's not like at the end of the day you tell her, okay, come see, I'm going to call your husband and I'll make sure everything is fine. I'll talk to your husband. No, he doesn't do that. He doesn't do that. All he does is when you come there, you sit. He starts chatting. He chats. You talk, you go. But the truth of this matter is, I've been following up the matter since it started. Actually, I started following up the matter, I think 2005. No, 2015, sorry. I started following up their case 2015. And that was when Taste Boards, that's the lover, that was when Taste Board put to bed for Daddy Freeze. Because she got pregnant for Daddy Freeze and she gave birth for the child 2015. That's the child you always see inside Daddy Freeze's car. He takes the boy to school and back. One half-caste boy with Dada. That's the boy. They gave birth to the boy in 2015 actually. The truth of the matter is, yes, she filed in for a divorce to leave the guy. That's the previous husband. And she did that in 2012. Yeah, 2012. That was when she did that. But the truth here is, she knew that the freeze, same 2012. She knew that the freeze, same 2012. Which means, now I'm assuming, I'm not certain. I'm assuming there is high possibility that the freeze might have directly or indirectly influenced the divorce with her previous husband, because from what the lady is saying, that's taste buds, she knew that the freeze in 2012 when she filed for the divorce. You get what the lady's excuse is. Her excuse is she and the previous husband have they have different sexual orientation. But sincerely speaking, that has not been proven. That has not been proven. There's no evidence to back that up. No evidence from the lady to back that up. And the guy in question, that's the previous husband, has not spoken to that effect. He hasn't publicly come out to say he's confessing or something. No, he hasn't spoken to that effect. So it's more or less still like hearsay. Because I could remember when Tonto Dike and the husband had issues. Man, Tonto Dike came up with a lot of accusations. She accused the husband at the time of the same thing, saying the knack man, saying they do money rituals. Not the way Tonto Dike no accused the man for. So there's high possibility. I'm not speaking for the man. I don't even know him. So there's high possibility maybe they were having issues, and she came up with the allegation because it has not been proven. She hasn't come out with any pictorial or video evidence to say this is it, I'm using this to back up my claim. But we could see she and Daddy Freeze around. Now Daddy Freeze is claiming he didn't commit adultery. He said he didn't commit adultery and he didn't take anybody's wife. Maybe if we go by moral terms, if we go by morals, I think he's wrong. I'm not calling out or bashing Daddy Freeze. No, I'm only stating out the facts. If we go by moral terms, I guess he's wrong. If we go by the law of the land, he's still wrong. Why? Because the matter was filed by the lady. That's by taste buds, Benedicta Lechi. That's the lady's name. It was filed by her, and it was filed by her, and the matter was still in court. No verdict at the time. I think the verdict came out in 2021. That was when the verdict came out. It came out 2021. Both the divorce case and Daddy Freeze's case, because he was charged for 5 million. He was sued for 5 million for interfering with the marriage. I think the high court verdict came out. Everything came out in 2021. Yes, I guess 2021, where the man floored them. The man won 2 of them, One, that the freeze was supposed to give him 5 million, and one, the lady denied her access to the children, that's custody of the children, and that was it. So they now took the matter to appeal. The man flawed Daddy P, Daddy P, Freeze again at appeal, and Freeze now has taken the matter to Supreme. The truth is, I strongly believe he's still going to floor Daddy Freeze at Supreme. Reason being, the matter was still in court, and you went ahead to take the lady away and impregnate her. That's more or less adultery. It's like, for instance, it's like you're getting ready for a wedding, let's say traditional wedding, and you take your bride or you take your groom or whatever to go introduce to your father, mother, uncles, kingsmen and all. The mere fact you've introduced your spouse to your kingsmen and your father, your mother, uncles and relatives, everybody in your entire village, the fact you've introduced your spouse to your entire village doesn't mean you guys are married, because the traditional rite hasn't been performed. I think that's one part that the Freeze fails to understand, that the verdict, they've not passed the verdict for the divorce. The case was still on. There was high probability, there could be a probability that, because the man never wanted the divorce, so there were high chances that, let me don't say high chances, there's a probability that the whole thing would have favored the guy, in the sense that cancellation of the divorce, in the sense that it won't take place. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. There's high probability to that. But Daddy Freeze went ahead to started dating the girl as early as 2012, as soon as she left the husband's place. So for me, man, him going to the Supreme Court is a very big mistake. A very, very, very big mistake. Very, very big mistake, because there was no verdict at the time, and you just colonize person wife. Colonize person wife, go give am belle. Because up until 2021, when the verdict was read, the lady was still legally married to the ex-husband. Until 2021, when the verdict was read. Like I said, she said the reasons for leaving the marriage was because they had different sexual orientation. But if you go by that, it hasn't been proven. Hasn't been proven by both the lady, that's the wife that is laying the accusation. It hasn't been proven by her. There is no evidence to back that up. And I give example that, for instance, Tonto DK, when she had issues, most ladies are. I can remember one story when a guy had issues with his girlfriend. That was in Warri. It happened in Warri. And the girl said, because they had issues, and I think they were about to go separate ways, the girl now came up with an allegation that the guy, that's the husband, is sleeping with their child, their 1-year-old child, which happens to be a guy as well. That the husband is penetrating the guy, the baby, which they had to even take the baby for tests to confirm if it was true or false. And at the end of the day, it turned out false. So for me, it's like, most times if a lady is conned, man, she could say or do anything, since it hasn't been proven. So that's it. But back to my topic, man. For me, I just feel, man, that the Freeze just got a taste of his own medicine, and I hope he learns his lesson, because right from time he has been used to calling out people's wife call them out when he notices that they're having issues with their husband. The next thing he does is to call somebody's wife out and start questioning the wife, asking her questions that are undermining, embarrassing, disgraceful. And these ladies, they even answer. Man, I could ask, I don't get sense. I don't get another person to talk to. You go live, somebody is asking you if you cheat on your husband, how much your husband gives you. Does your husband knock you? Can you imagine? And the ladies, they keep answering. Now he got to his own turn. He's saying Punch. That's the newspaper that exposed the whole thing. That Punch could have sought his consent. But he doesn't seek the consent of the people he puts on his life. Convince them that they should come and air their story so that the world will know. Man, if you're a lady watching me right now, man, you don't need all those long process. Most times it even pays, man, for you to keep your mouth shut. It pays very well in Nigeria than for you to come out to say you are explaining yourself. Explaining yourself to who, man? It pays so much, especially in Nigeria, for you to just keep your mouth shut and observe what's going on. Sincerely speaking, the very moment you come out to speak, you'll be roped in. It's like this case I've been following that has to do with Celine and Afiba. The reason why we are saying Ben should be brought, Ben is because he came out to speak. If he was quiet, man, he'll be enjoying his life very, very well right now in the UK. Even when Junior Pope died, funny enough, it was just what's it called? TC virus. And who else? TC virus that was just being called out. I tell you now, they got good to knock those girls on code now, for real. Yes, now. Very, very possible. Very, very possible. If you see him, he's hyper now. Didn't you see the question he asked Rachel when Rachel came to his life? You remember Rachel, the girl that claimed she jumped from Andrew's house, from Andrew's fence. One of Andrew's victims. It was very, very surprising to me. Like, this girl narrated her ordeal, what she went through, how she went to the police station the police station denied her what's it called, her rights, how her wounds were infected, the level of her cut, like Daddy Freeze was aware of it. After narrating the whole story, do you know the question Daddy Freeze asked the girl? He asked the girl, say, is it you, Andrew, knocked both front and back? Can you imagine? Somebody was discussing her pains with you, what she went through. That's why I said, man, he just got a taste of his own bitter pills, so that he will understand how he tastes. So that next time he go understand, say, man, you don't need to go all those far. Before you call person wife, you're supposed to seek the consent of the husband. No, you don't go just dig, say make person wife come explain, then the husband come explain. The very moment they got married, they stopped being two and became one. So you just don't leverage on their vulnerability because maybe they are having issues. And you feel, man, at this point, this lady is vulnerable, so let me rope her into my life so that she will generate traffic for me. And you start asking her very silly, irrelevant questions. Very embarrassing questions. See the one he asked Kayode's wife, if she's having an affair with Pastor Toby. What's her relationship with Pastor Toby? Imagine, say, do you think Daddy Freeze will condone his wife? He won't even allow his wife self to go for a live section. He won't. He won't. He will never. So, man, if you're a girl watching me out there, man, you don't need to go there to explain yourself. If you know you're saying the truth, especially in Nigeria, let me tell you guys the truth, man. I've been on the internet space at least for a long time, and I know how it is out here in Nigeria. As long as you're saying the truth, man, just stay on your own. You don't need to come out to explain yourself, because the more you try to explain yourself, the more people keep finding loopholes. People keep finding loopholes to your stories. So most times it's better you just stick your ass to yourself and stay on your own. And I hope he learns. He learns from this. He learns his big lesson. Because now the thing don't hit him. He's blaming Punch. Like it's Punch. Because Punch brought the story to Nigerians. Man, if I was him, man, I would just withdraw that case that he sent to the appeal. I mean, he sent to the Supreme, because he's still going to lose. He's definitely going to lose, man. Because up until 2021, that was when they resolved the case. They were still legally married until the court squashed the case. I followed the case up. I started following the case like 2015. Even the wife came out to give an excuse. She said if May, this is what she said. She said, if May Yul Edochie decides to marry or decides to date, they will call her an adulteress. But if you, Edochie, decides to date, there is no problem. And I said to myself, what did you call her? You call her May Yul Edochie. What does that tell you? She is still legally married, both traditionally and white, to Yul Edochie, till the court pronounces otherwise. Any man that goes close to her right now, that's adultery, sincerely speaking. So I'm still surprised why that the Freeze still can't understand that simple fact and hang out. Man, it's getting dark, man. It's getting dark in here. Maybe if I get inside, I'll continue with my life. So let me shut it down here, man, and get inside, then I'll put it on again. Okay, guys? Just give me like 10-15 minutes.